In this video, we're going to give a high-level overview of the organic client acquisition process. So the organic client acquisition process is the process of directly communicating with and closing clients without the use of things like ads, paid traffic, or sort of your traditional automated marketing funnels. And so by definition, organic client acquisition is less quote unquote predictable or mathematical than the direct response marketing and paid traffic strategies that we taught earlier in this program. But unless you're representing a proven service, in other words, you already have a past track record of success, organic client acquisition is necessary to acquire your first client and your first handful of clients, because as we know, the more you try and automate and scale things, the more your conversion rate drops. And if you don't have a proven process or service in place, there's nothing that you can automate. And so you sort of have to crawl before you can walk when it comes to sales and client acquisition. And that's why we're starting with the organic client acquisition process. And it's also free, which if you're starting out, if you're a startup consultant or agency owner, most likely you have a limited marketing budget, if any. And so following this process is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything except time and sweat. And that's something that if you're trying to scale an agency, you should have an abundance of. And so your first client, when scaling your agency, your first client is always going to be the hardest client, simply because most business owners don't want to pay you to learn on their dime. That's how they view it if you're coming to a business owner without a previous track record of success. And so it sort of becomes this chicken and egg problem, right? Like, how do you get a past case study if you can't acquire your first client, right? So it's like something has to come first. And so once you do finally land your first client and get decent results, maybe a testimonial or a case study from them, your next client will be exponentially easier to acquire, and it'll become easier with each additional client after that. And so it's important when we're going through this process to approach your client acquisition process with empathy towards the business owner's perspective, because frankly, in their eyes, you're unproven and they're taking a risk to hire you to some extent. And so you're going to need to work twice as hard on the front end, adding value throughout the client acquisition process to make up for the fact that you don't have any past results. And so the first thing that we need to discuss is, okay, why exactly would a business owner want to hire me? And frankly, business owners hire consultants or outside agencies for one of two reasons primarily. Reason number one is they hire them to do something that they either don't know how to do, or they just don't know how to do it very well themselves. Or they hire an outside consultant or an agency to do something that they don't have the time to do, or that they just flat out don't want to do. Those are the two primary reasons that consultants or outside agencies are hired by business owners. And business owners care about one thing, and that is results. And so just like when you're managing your paid traffic ad sets, business owners care about one thing, their results or their return on investment, which means for a business owner to even consider hiring you, you need to prove to them that paying you, that hiring you will earn them a minimum 2x ROI on your fees. And remember, because you're managing paid traffic, you have to include the ad spend along with your fees. So if you're charging $1,000 a month and the business owner is spending, let's say, $1,000 a month in ads, you have to be able to justify and you have to be able to prove that you can expect to generate at a minimum $4,000 in revenue to justify the business owner hiring you to manage their ads. And so if you're talking to a business owner and you don't feel that you can legitimately add value to their business and provide at least a 2x ROI, typically you want it to be much higher than that, but provide a minimum 2x ROI, then don't bother trying to pursue that business. It's not going to be a long-term fit. It's not going to be a good relationship. And ultimately, it could potentially just tarnish your reputation down the road, which would be far more damaging to your business than maybe the 1 or 2 months of retainer that you can collect from that business owner. And so the way to close clients and your job as a consultant, as an agency owner, is to prove to your prospective clients beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are adding more value to their bottom line than you're asking in return. That's it. And if a client for some reason will not close, it means that they are not 100% certain that you'll add more value than you cost them. It means that they are not 100% certain that you will be able to fulfill the promise that you're making them. And so your job to close your first client then boils down to one thing, which is proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that hiring you is a positive ROI decision. That's it. That's all you have to do to close a client, is to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that hiring you is a positive ROI decision. Because think about it. If you truly can prove to a prospective client beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are going to pay you $1 and you will give them $3, $5, $10 back, there is no business owner in the world, unless that business owner just hates making money, there's no business owner in the world who's going to turn that down. And so if a business owner decides to pass, it means that they don't believe you beyond a shadow of a doubt. It means that there is still some doubt in their head that you can deliver on the promises that you're making, that hiring you is actually a positive ROI decision. And so throughout this process, your job is to prove to them that hiring you is a positive ROI decision, and that starts by adding massive value on the front end with no expectation of anything in return, and just adding massive value, putting in that sweat equity, going the extra mile, and proving to them that you will go the extra mile for them and that you will make sure that they see results and a positive ROI from hiring you.